Hi everyone, I'm Ido. I guess the first thing I'm the father of two little monkeys, which is why I get to do all these fun things, I guess, with yoga, gabba, etc. And I've got a great wife who, for whatever reason, if you see a woman called Anna run up on stage and pull me off stage, is that we're expecting to have our third child around today. So that should be kind of fun. So if that happens, I'm running to Marin. We live here in San Francisco, or just outside in Marin County. And I guess firstly, just to get to know me a little bit, I was born in Israel. When I was 4, my family moved to Sydney, Australia. When I was 21, I moved to Jakarta, Indonesia. When I was 23, I moved to Mumbai, India. When I was 25, I moved back to Israel. And 5.5 years ago, I moved here, hence the completely fucked up accent. So for me, I've always sort of been in sort of the world of global business and the world of looking at things in a slightly different way. I was living in Israel about 8 years ago when I met my wife, and we were living the very typical Tel Aviv lifestyle. We would wake up in the morning, we would go to work, we'd finish work at about 5:36, we would play beach volleyball on the beaches of Tel Aviv, we would then go home, have a nap, wake up, go to dinner till about 3 in the morning, and then do it again. And we were looking for a way to improve our lifestyles and to get healthier. And we ended up looking at healthy food and different options and ended up starting and looking at skincare regimens as well. And ended up realizing that in the natural beauty space, there wasn't anything out there that met our needs, and ended up setting up a company called Yes2. Yes2 is the #2 natural beauty brand in the US. We're distributed in 20,000 plus stores all over the world. And what's been amazing with Yes2 is that it really got us into the whole notion of giving back. A big part of Yes2's vision was to create a brand that made people feel that not only were they going to use a kick-ass product, but they were also going to contribute to an awesome cause at the same time. And we set up something called the Yes2 Seed Fund. Now, the Yes2 Seed Fund was a great idea at first. We wanted to develop something that was really, I guess, going to give back to communities, was going to help feed kids, and that was sort of the big goal. The big problem with the Yes2 Seed Fund is that as the company grew, it started to become the whatever made Ido cry fund, which isn't necessarily a very good idea when setting up a company or a seed fund. Now, what was really funny about that was that we decided that we wanted to get our team involved and we wanted to get everybody very excited about it. Unfortunately, it became very much initially the Ido vanity project. Not something that I would recommend anybody to do. So what we ended up doing is pressing pause on that and bringing our team and getting everybody to really vote and believe on what we were going to do next. We started to work very closely with schools here in the US. And has anybody been to a US public school lately? What I started to notice in these public schools was one of two things. I'd walk into a classroom, and you'd see either a classroom that looked like something out of Alice in Wonderland, beautiful walls, beautiful designs, beautiful everything. Or I'd see a classroom that looked like the waiting room of a really bad DMV. And I started to ask the teachers, why is that? And I inevitably get the same answer every time. Either, for the beautiful classroom, I bought the school supplies for that classroom. Or for the DMV one, it would be, I ran out of school supplies. So I started to do some research. With a bunch of friends, we went to the White House, we went to the Department of Education, my friends at the United Nations Foundation, and realized the following. The average school teacher spends $500 out of her own pocket on school supplies for her classroom. That equates to $1.6 billion of teacher salaries. My mum was a school teacher. I know what $500 means. That freaked me out. So we decided to help try to solve that problem. That was problem number one. Problem number 2 was how to create kick-ass product that actually we could help to generate revenue to give back. And any of you that have a company today that is, who has a company that wants to generate revenue? Not everybody in Silicon Valley wants that. Now, if you have a company that wants to generate revenue, you need to create a kick-ass product. So what happens with us is that we went to the local Targets and Office Depots and all the rest of it, and I would walk down with my kids down that aisle, and they ignored it. It was almost like it didn't exist. So what ended up happening was that we decided that we wanted to create a school supplies brand that was going to make it as difficult to get the kids out of that aisle with our school supplies in it than it was to get them out of the toy aisle. How could we make something so cool that they would love it? And we wanted to make it for a very narrow target market. And that's how Yoobi was born. We have a very narrow target market. It's kids ages 4 to 104. And what's been amazing is that I was on a plane yesterday, and an 11-year-old I saw pull out some Yoobi stuff. And last week I was on a plane, and the guy sitting next to me was a hedge fund trader who pulled out a Yoobi notebook. So it's amazing. We wanted to create something that was fun, different. Who in the world doesn't need a fuzzy pencil case? Everybody needs a fuzzy pencil case, whether you're 4 like or 5 like my daughter, or whether you're old like me and 37. Now, what ended up happening was remarkable. We partnered with a retailer like Target. Now, for those of you that think that a cause isn't something that would generate necessarily significant amount of interest from your customers, listen to this. I went to a meeting, and I'm sitting in a chair like this, and I'm facing a woman who was facing me called Jill. Behind Jill was my business partner who was setting up all of our fun Yoobi supplies. And Jill's looking at me, he's behind her. And I'm talking to Jill, and I say, Jill, listen, we have this amazing thing. We want to solve this problem, lack of school supplies for kids here in the US, and we want to do it now. And I told her this whole story, and I told her about these schools that I'd visited and everything that went along with it. And I told her, listen, are you ready to see the product? PJ set up behind you. Are you ready to turn around? And she goes, Ido, I don't need to turn around. We're going to do this, and we're going to do it huge. She hadn't seen our product. She had no idea what we were even going to be selling. And as a result, we partnered with Target, one of the greatest retailers in the world, to launch Yoobi. We launched 81 products about 16 weeks ago. In the past 16 weeks, we've sold enough product to provide free school supplies to over 250,000 kids here in the US. Now, thank you. But that's just the beginning. The idea was to make it fun. And this is what Yoobi looks like.
Here, teachers spend tons of their own money on stuff for their students. That's a big problem. Yoobi wants to fix it. Yoobi's dream is that students have what they need. Every student at every school. Because when kids have the basic things they need in class, school is more fun. And they do better in class. Here's how you can help. When you buy a Yoobi school supply, you help Yoobi give a box of pencils, crayons, or another cool Yoobi item to a school in need. A school like mine. And all you have to do is choose Yoobi. You buy, Yoobi gives. It's that easy. One for you, one for me.
So Yoobi's kind of cool, huh? I love him. He's just the cutest little toucan on earth. Now, it's so many people that go, oh, wow, is that a Yoobi bird? No, it's a toucan. The thing that was quite amazing as we've developed Yoobi is the type of questions we start getting, particularly from entrepreneurs who want to do something similar. We didn't invent the one for you, one for me model. Amazing companies, whether it's Warby, Tom's, et cetera, have done an amazing job and are really good friends of ours. But it was a great tool and very easy for people to understand the correlation, especially with kids or young adults buying our product, that they can see exactly where their purchase is going. if I was to do this again, the one thing I would tell you is pick your partners carefully. We couldn't do any of the distribution that we do to these, what will effectively be over 30,000 classrooms here in the US this year, if it wasn't for an amazing partner that we partnered with, an organization called the Kids in Need Foundation. We're going to make another big partnership announcement in the next few weeks. But the Kids in Need Foundation allowed us to have the logistics and the platform in order to do it. So if you're wanting to get into the social space, you've got to be able to find a good partner to be able to deliver it, because you're busy making stuff. You know, one of the great things about starting a company is that you get to choose where it goes. Work with your team, get your team involved in it, and develop a platform and a solution so you can make great stuff. Because, you know, in the end of the day, I didn't want to come home to my kids, and I don't want to be known as the guy that makes shampoo. Well, me especially, I'm not exactly a shampoo candidate. But I also didn't want to be known as the guy that just made a notebook or just made a crayon. You know, in the end of the day, we've got an opportunity in every one of our companies to make a mega difference, whether it's here in the US or around the world. And to make that decision is an easy one. Because not only is it better for your bottom line, but it's also better for you and your company and your people and your customers to really know that they're involved and they're vested and invested in something that actually makes a difference. It's quite remarkable to me how many people have written into us asking to be a part of it. How amazing it's been as a recruiting tool. There's a guy that works at Yoobi by the name of Justin. I met Justin in a bar and told him the Yoobi story. Justin was a corporate lawyer earning a shit ton of money. Who here is a corporate lawyer? Who here pays a lot of money to corporate lawyers? Okay. He was earning a lot of money. And I told him the Yoobi story, and at the end of me telling him the Yoobi story, he said, Ido, I just resigned as a lawyer, as of now. And he earns definitely a lot less than what he used to earn, but he now runs the giving part of Yoobi. That's the power of having something that people actually care about and want to be a part. And a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity with my team to go to somewhere very special. We base our companies on 3 main pillars: incredible people, kick-ass product, and awesome cause. And when you get these incredible people together, magic happens. And a few weeks ago, we got to go to our first ever Yoobi Classroom Give. It was the most special day of my year. We were crying, we were laughing. It was out of this world. I wish I could have brought you all there to see it. But what I want you to see is just to see what happens when you just make, we haven't coded anything, we haven't developed anything. We make crayons, rulers, simple stuff. Some of you guys have so much more that you can present and create for the world and give back to the world as a result. But I'm telling you, when you do give back and you get your team and your people around you to give back alongside you and with you, it's fucking awesome. Yeah. Have a look. I think we're going to play a video now. Hi, I'm Ido, the co-founder of Yoobi. We're at Doris Place Elementary School for the first ever Yoobi Classroom Pack Give. Yoobi was founded to solve 2 major problems. We wanted to make school supplies awesome and fun again. And secondly, we wanted to make sure that kids here in the US could have a level playing field no matter where they came from.
As classroom teachers, we're always supplementing, extra markers, the things that really make the classroom experience special.
The average teacher spends $500 out of her own pocket on school supplies for her classroom. That's $1.6 billion a year of teachers' salaries. There had to be a better way.
For children who struggle in so many areas of their lives, it's not just a gift of a pencil and an eraser, it's a gift of confidence.
Yoobi is really good because it's helping kids like me.
Every time you buy a Yoobi item, Yoobi will donate an item into a Yoobi Classroom Pack. Once we fill up one of those packs, Yoobi ships that to a classroom right here in the US, providing those kids with school supplies immediately.
When Yoobi came into our classroom, students were really excited. I think they felt that, Yoobi was really caring for them and wanting them to be creative. I gave them like a free period where they could draw and explore with their new materials. They were really excited about the brand new pencil sharpeners. And
1, 2, 3. Our goal is that every school here in the US is a bright and happy place to be.
One for you, one for me.
One for you and one for me.
Yoobi means one for you and one for me, and it's very fair.
You be awesome, you be great, you be you. Yoobi is for everybody. It's really simple. I heard somebody drop the mic yesterday and went like boom and went off the stage. Anyway, it's really simple. Do what you love, create something awesome, bring incredible people in the room, mix an awesome cause into it, and before you know it, magic happens. Thank you.